Hello, Mr. C here. I get asked all the time what I would do for a new business to lay a really solid foundation for them to set in motion a very effective marketing strategy to help their business to grow, understanding the marketplace and where we're at today. So here I've got an outline of what I would do. And the very first thing I would do, as you can see here, number one, bar none, is I'd create a marketing driven website. Now, a marketing driven website is completely different than an informational website. A lot of web designers, that's what they do, is info based websites. Problem with information based websites is it provides information, but it doesn't move people and compel people to an action. It doesn't move them through the sales process. Whereas a marketing driven website clearly answers those key marketing questions every consumer, when they first run across you, have go through their head. Why should I do business with you? What's in it for me? And other questions that would go along with whatever they're looking at buying. But those are the core ones. And of course, you want your website to be niche based. So whatever niche you're in, whoever you're marketing to, you're directing everything towards them. Your messaging is specific to them. So the very first thing I would start with is a marketing driven website, bar none. It is the most important marketing asset you have. If you look at everything that you're doing, virtually everything sends them to your website. It doesn't matter whether it's SEO, display ads, direct mail, social media. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's directing people back to your website. So make sure it's compelling. It's got a strong marketing message that is giving them reason and value. What's in it for me on why they should do business with you. It's not about how big and beautiful you are. They don't care about that in the beginning. In the very beginning, what they care about is what you can do for them, why they should do business with you. So you need to address those points up front in your website. Next thing I would put in place is a complete total reputation marketing solution. That would be the next thing I would put in place. I don't care how you slice it. People look at reviews. People want to do business with businesses that people trust and have enjoyed doing business with. If you go to Google, you Google, say, for example, dentist, Spokane, Washington as an example, and you Google them, you're going to see, what their reputation score is. What you want is to make sure they have a 5-star review. And there are strategies that you can use that compels people to give you a review, to give you a testimonial and different things like that. And you want to do that. You want to have strategies in place that compels your consumers, people who have done business with you, to leave you with a review, a testimonial, a video testimonial, a written testimonial, and all that stuff, because all of those things become very, very valuable in your marketing down the road. But you got to start building those things up. And the sooner you start doing that, the better off you're going to be by a long shot. He who's got the most reviews, the most testimonials, generally is he who wins. So do that. Absolutely make sure you do that. So you want to manage your reviews and reputation. You want to market your great, and then you're going to market that great reputation to people, right? And you're going to build a reputational marketing culture in your business with all your staff. And there's strategies and techniques in which you can do to do all that. Okay, the next thing is you want to put in place a referral program. I don't care how you slice it. Nothing beats a referral, bar none. It's the best lead you'll ever get. There's a number of benefits behind getting a referral business because, number one, the sales cycle is generally less. Their lifetime value of how much they spend with you is generally more. The selling process is a lot easier because they've already been kind of more or less pre-sold by a friend or a family member. Now, interestingly enough, in a referral program, another form of referral program, although it's not as at the level that if a friend or a family member just straight up told somebody, hey, you got to do business with this company. They are awesome. I bought this and this and this from them. And man, I'm telling you, they went above and beyond. And man, I just recommend them to everybody. And I love the product. Can't beat that kind of a thing. But next to that is back to number 2 is that total reputation marketing package. Because when they see you have a 5-star review, it's like getting recommendations from other people, but there are people they don't know. Strangers out there in the world who have said, I've done business with this company. I had a great experience. I'm leaving them a 5-star review because I had a great experience with them. I think they're a great company. You should do business with them also. So that also kind of plays a role in your referral program. So make sure you have that in place. And by the way, I always make sure there's 2 to 3 referral programs in place in every business I work with. Okay, number 4, learn where the prospective customers go to find a business like yours and make sure that you find your advertising or marketing message there. Where do people congregate at? Where do they go? Where can you find large groups of your potential clients that you can market to? And that's what you're looking for here, okay? So one of the things we also talk about here is one of the places people go is they go to Google. And so you absolutely want to make sure that you're part of Google's 3 or 7 pack. And what that means is when you type in like dentist, Spokane, Washington, and you get that map, it shows a map where all these different dentists are. And then right below that gives you the top choices. And then you can go for more reviews or to see more. It takes you to another page, and it's all about dentists. And it shows you how many reviews they've had, what their rating is. And I don't care how you slice it, you're going to look at a couple of different things. First of all, you're going to look at who's closest to me. That's just human nature. I don't want to drive real far, so who's closest to me? And then, based upon who's closest to me, let's say a 5-mile radius around your home, who's got the best reviews? Who has the highest reviews? Again, we're back to number 2, your reputation marketing. You see how important that is? I just can't emphasize that piece enough. Credibility, incredibly important to any business. But that's what they're going to do. Who's closest to me? They're going to kind of have a radius, within 5 miles or so of their home or whatever the case may be. And then who's got the highest, the best reputation? Who's got the highest rating? Who's a 5-star with a lot of reviews? And that's generally who they're going to pick. So you need to do that. But along with that, where else do they congregate at? You need to figure out where they go. Are they on different social media platforms? Do they go to certain businesses pretty consistently? Are they reading the same kind of magazines? Where do they congregate at? Where is a common denominator where you can put your marketing message where your potential clients will see your message? Okay. 5, put in place key marketing assets. Okay, a marketing asset does a number of things. One is it holds up your other marketing. It's just another asset, another tool in your arsenal of marketing things that you do for your business to market your business. A marketing asset, different than a marketing piece, where a marketing piece you actually send to them. A marketing asset is something they'll run across in the process of reviewing you. It's literally designed to help encourage the person to do business with you. It's an asset to your marketing. That's why I call it a marketing asset. Very few marketers talk about marketing assets. Very few. It's really a shame because it plays such a significant role in your marketing efforts because it helps your marketing pieces to be more effective. If your marketing piece gets their attention, your marketing assets, they might take them over the edge and they say, yeah, I got to check these people out. This looks good. Again, I will emphasize back to number 1, the most important number 1 marketing asset of yours is your website. You want it to be a marketing driven website. Do not cut corners there. I'm telling you, do not cut corners there. So your marketing assets are going to support the sales process. They're going to support your lead generation marketing. Video. Definitely you want to have a video or 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever spread out throughout your website, different places, different things, talking about different stuff. Because video is 262% more effective than the written word. One of those reasons is because they get to hear the voice and fluctuations of the person who's doing the video, and they can tell whether or not you're really excited or whether you're just kind of ho-hum boring, if you know what I'm saying there, right? So video is very, very good. And then again, we want to come back, we market your great reputation. Reputation is a marketing asset. It's not necessarily what's going to lead them to it, but it's an asset. So, for example, you may be doing SEO. SEO would be the strategy. It's a lead generation strategy is what SEO, search engine optimization, is. But a marketing asset would be how many reviews you have and what your rating is. Do you have a 5-star, a 4-star? Where are you? What do you have? That's an asset to SEO. And then your website, from the SEO point of view, is what will do the heavy lifting for you, because that's ultimately where SEO sends people, to your website, ultimately, via Google 3-7 pack or the organic search results page, whichever it may be. But they ultimately end up at your website, ultimately. Again, it's got to be marketing driven to compel people to an action. It's a really important piece that you've got to absolutely have in place. If you can, put in place a loyalty program. People like doing business with people where they get a benefit, an additional benefit. So, for example, there's a lot of places I can buy our dog food, but I buy our dog food from a company that every 10th bag I get free. Now, they may have jacked up their prices another 10% to compensate for that, but reality is their prices are very comparable. In fact, right there with everybody else. But I get the 10th bag free with this company. So that's what I do business with. People like things like that, loyalty type programs. Coffee shops can do that. There's, a lot of places you can do that kind of thing. Okay. You want to market to existing clients. You want to upsell them, cross-sell them, and resell them. This is where you need to understand the 4 key building blocks to build a business. There are only 4 ways you can build a business. There's a lot of tentacles off of each of them, but when you break it all down to the ridiculous, there's only 4 ways to build a business. 4. New business, which unfortunately is what 80% of people only focus on. That's all they ever focus on is new business. But where you get rich and where you make a lot of money is on the back end, not the front end. New business is a front end profits making strategy. The other 3 ways is when you upsell them additional products, cross-sell them other products, and you resell them the same product over and over and over again, assuming you have a product that is resellable, something they would buy on a continuous basis. And if you don't have a product like that, get one. Find one. Maybe a service agreement, whatever it may be, but find something that you can keep selling to them over and over and over again so that you can keep your marketing message in front of them, so that you can constantly keep them as a client forever and ever and ever. So understand those 4 building blocks to build a business. Everything else is an offswing of them. Other strategies to support each of those different elements. And never forget that you get rich on the back end, not the front end. Front end is just to get your client. And then what you should be tracking is the lifetime value of a client. Lifetime value. Well, in order to create a high lifetime value, you've got to be upselling them, you've got to be cross-selling them, and you've got to be renewing them with a product where they're buying it continuously over and over again. Okay? Your website is your number 1 marketing asset. Again, I can't emphasize that point enough. Don't make a mistake on your website. It's too important of a marketing piece for your business. And then 6, what I tell people, these are your 6 steps. Track everything. Literally, have things in place that you can track everything. If you've got a marketing campaign, for example, where they're either supposed to send you a postcard or call you, at your receptionist's desk, have a little ticker thing there and mark down how many people call. Keep track of how many phone calls you get so you know how effective your marketing piece is, what your ratio is, right? Because you want to know how effective it is so that you know whether or not you've got a home run or you got a dud. If you have a dud, you want to replace it with something that's more effective. Now, one of the big mistakes I see a lot of businesses do is they have a marketing piece that's just continuously keeps working and working and working, otherwise known as the control piece, and they replace it with something else because they're just tired of using it. They're tired of seeing it. People, listen, I don't care if you're tired of using it. If it's your number 1 marketing piece, you don't replace it until you put out something that creates better results than it. That's the only time you replace a marketing strategy and a marketing piece is when you replace it with a better marketing piece that's getting better results. You may keep the strategy, but you may change out the marketing piece, but only when it gets better results than your control piece. And then that new piece becomes your control piece, and you never replace it until another piece creates a better result than it. That's how you play the game. I don't care if you're getting tired of seeing that marketing piece. I don't care. If it's giving you the results, keep doing it until you can replace it with something that's doing a better job for you, period. But the only way you're going to know all that stuff is by tracking everything. As for doing A/B tests, man, you should be doing A/B tests left and right. You should be doing an A/B test on your homepage. So you should have 2 homepages, and it'll alternate back and forth as visitors come to your website, back and forth, back and forth. And then you'll have a call to action on your homepage, because that's the difference between direct response marketing and traditional marketing is there's a action behind it. Do this. So depending on the type of business you are, maybe you're trying to sell a product. So have a buy now button that sends a signal that says, we have success on this page, or have an opt-in piece to get more information, to get this free report, to learn more about whatever, right? So I give them a reason to opt in to get some additional information to continue moving them through the sales process. And the A/B test is going to show you then what's going to work best. Now, you only test one thing at a time. So If you're testing the home page, what on the home page are you testing? Now, you may be starting out with testing two completely different layouts. And then once you get the layout that works the best between the two, then you may start breaking it down to the headline, whether you should have the opt-in actually in line on your page or a button that you click that opens up to an opt-in window, a pop-up for them to fill out. And you'll start testing little pieces and little things on your website over and over and over again. Now, one of the software programs that I use, because I use WordPress pretty consistently, is I use Thrive Suite, because as part of the suite, they have an A/B management system in there, which allows me to literally test just about everything. And so I use the heck out of that thing to see what's working, what isn't working. I encourage you to do the same thing, but track everything. I can't emphasize that piece enough, because you don't want to shoot from the hip. You want to make all your marketing decisions once you get going based upon facts, real numbers. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to business owners where they thought something was working really well, and then we started tracking it and found out it was the worst lead generator they had. They thought it was their best. Turned out to be their worst. Don't guess. You're going to consistently get it wrong. Track it and know what's working for you, and keep doing what's working for you. Also, last piece of advice, have a minimum of 3 different ways of generating leads or sales depending on what you're doing. If you're selling a bigger product and you're working from a lead point of view, then have 3 ways that generates leads. If you're selling products, have 3 ways that bring traffic to your website. Don't overlook the traffic side of it. If you're an online business, one of the most important pieces is your traffic. You've got to know where people are coming to your website from, and you've got to give them a reason to come to your website. There you go, people. That's what I would put in place, bottom line, for a new company or anybody who were to want to do business with me. Now, I have retired from OnUp 360 Marketing. I am working on another thing at this point for lots of other reasons. But for those people who are working with offline businesses, helping them with their marketing, that right there that I gave you is what I would make sure gets put in place, bar none. That would be the absolute minimum requirement I would have if I was still doing that for a business to work with me. If they weren't willing to do the things that I just listed here, it's not worth my time to work with them, because they're cutting themselves short. They're not allowing me to do the job they hired me to do to help them increase their marketing, bring in more leads, bring in more sales, if they're not going to do everything there. They have to do everything here. There's no exception. They've got to do everything. So let's bring this up and let's take a look at all of these things on the same screen, assuming I can do that. How about that? Pretty close. Right there. 6 things. Non-optional. Must be done, or I won't work with them. And I think a lot of people who are working with businesses should take the same posture. Also, I want to point out, a lot of people are selling SEO as a lead generator. It's not a lead generator. It's a traffic generator. All SEO does is sends visitors, people who have an interest in what you do, to your website. That's all it does. And then it's up to the website to do the heavy lifting of converting them from a visitor to becoming a lead or a customer. You know, you need to be clear of the purpose for each of the different strategies that you're putting in place. You got to be clear. And when you come across and think that SEO is a lead generator, then you think that's all you need to do is just do SEO, and then you overlook one of the most important pieces to the whole thing, which is the website to compel the person to an action. It says, you need to do business with this company, and here's why. So make sure you're very clear on the purpose of each of the different strategies you put in place and how they affect your marketing overall. As you saw, I addressed as an example this total reputation marketing solution, which is giving yourself a 5-star review, lots of testimonials, lots of reviews, and stuff like that. I referenced it in a number of these things because it affected a number of these things. It's a foundational piece. There you go. That's what you've got to do starting out from the very beginning. Have a blessed day. See you in the next video.